Yeah, that's a jam. Yeah, but this is college basketball we're talking about. NCAA tournament, March Madness. Hit me with that Luther Vandross instead.
The ball is tipped.
Yeah, there we go. All right. Welcome to a very special episode of Control City Freak. I've been excited to do this for quite a long time. We are talking state DOT March Madness. We are bracketizing the different state DOTs and having them face off head to head against each other. And you guys are going to be the ones who decide, not me. You're watching Control City Freak. This is the YouTube channel where we talk about interstate highways and the places that they're signed to go to. If you dig this kind of content, why not give us a like? And if you really like it, why not subscribe? Yeah, subscribe. We have also got a Patreon going, and right now, if you are a paid Patreon member, then you can get double or even triple voting for this particular thing. You can also request your home state for a home state shout out. We don't have any interchanges to talk about for the next few episodes, but we will have other things. You can also request a state shout out by doing the traditional method of a $5 super sticker. So thanks so much for those who have already. Alright, so let me tell you all about how this March Madness is going to work. So we have got the old videos of Todd Ranks the State DOTs, so I'm kind of basing the seeding on that. Just as a quick review, so you don't have to watch all those episodes, let me tell you what we've got. S-tier seeded state DOTs in these original videos were Arizona, Utah, Tennessee, Indiana, and North Dakota. Unfortunately, that's 5, so one of these is going to have to be a 2 seed and not a 1 seed. And the way I determined that was kind of just the order that I happen to rank them in when I was originally doing it, so nothing too scientific there. Next up, the A-tier states are Oklahoma, although I made that A-tier before I saw I-44, that would certainly be lower now. Arkansas, Georgia, South Carolina, Michigan, South Dakota, and Montana. Next up, we've got the B-tier states, Nevada, Virginia, Kentucky, Ohio, New York, Washington, Rhode Island, and Delaware. And now we've got the pretty thick C-tier. The C-tier, I decided to throw Puerto Rico into C-tier. We didn't actually rank Puerto Rico yet. Then Texas, California, Florida, Illinois, Iowa, Wisconsin, Kansas, Minnesota. That would be below now, having seen more Minnesota. Washington, D.C., Vermont, Idaho, Nebraska, Connecticut, Massachusetts, and I decided to throw Hawaii into C tier as well. Next up, we've got the D tier, and I decided to make Alaska the top ranked of the D tier states, followed by New Mexico, Colorado, Alabama, Louisiana, Mississippi, North Carolina, Missouri, Maryland, West Virginia, Wyoming, Oregon, and New Hampshire. Next up, we've got the Pennsylvania tier, and the Pennsylvania tier is just Pennsylvania and New Jersey. And then our final tier, the literal highway robbery tier, which would be just Maine. Alright, so let me explain how I did the seeding. So if we look at a bracket here, this is a little convoluted, I know, but we made the number 1 overall 1 seed, Arizona, 1 in the south. We would go over to the west for the second number 1 seed, diagonally across, and then we would go up to the east for the number 3 1 seed, and then the number 4 1 seed would be in the Midwest. And then the 5th overall seed, the number 1 2 seed, would also be in the Midwest, and then we'll go backwards. Then the 2nd ranked 2 seed would be in the East, and the 3rd ranked 2 seed would be in the West, and the 4th ranked 2 seed would be back in the South. Our 1st ranked 3 seed would be in the South, and our 2nd ranked 3 seed, the number 10 overall seed, would be in the West, and so on like that. So that's how I put together the entire bracket. The regions, by the way, just like the regions in the real NCAA tournament, don't really mean that much. I didn't really try to regionalize too much. I did just try to S-curve out the entire thing to make for the most fair seeding, so don't worry too much about the names of the regions. Overall, for seeds, we've got 52 state DOTs. We've got the 50 states plus DC and Puerto Rico, and this means the top 3 seeds in each region get a bye. They will not be playing this week. They get to advance directly to next week. So let's talk about the actual brackets. Let's look at the South Region bracket first, just because it happens to be the upper left one. And the South Region bracket, we are getting number 1 seed Arizona will be on bye. So our first actual game in the South Region will be number 8 Idaho versus number 9 Nebraska. That is seeding wise. Idaho, the 8 seed, Nebraska, the 9 seed. A 5 seed New York versus a 12 seed in Oregon. And then we will get a 4 seed of Ohio versus a 13 seed of New Hampshire, the lowest seed in the South region. Continuing on the other half of the bracket, we get 6 seed Florida versus 11 seed Louisiana. Then 3 seed South Carolina will be entitled to a bye. They will advance to the next round. We've got a South Carolina state shoutout from Sean Miller Perez, so thanks for that. 7 seed Illinois will take on 10 seed Alabama, and then 2 seed Georgia will also have a bye. All right, let's look at the Midwest region bracket. For the Midwest, Indiana is our number 1 seed there. So Indiana will rest this week and play next week against the winner of Minnesota and Hawaii, our 8 and 9 seeds in the Midwest. So number 5, Delaware versus number 12, Maryland. Then we will get number 4, Nevada versus number 13, Maine, the lowest overall seed being in the literal highway robbery tier. Puerto Rico gets a 6 seed. They will take on Missouri and the 11 seed. You guys will be the ones deciding this, not me, but please don't let Missouri advance into the second round. That's my basketball biases speaking there. Montana getting a bye. They will not participate in this round. Kansas takes on Alaska in the Midwest. And then finally, North Dakota is given a bye as well. All right, let's take a look at the East region. In the East region, Tennessee is the top seed there. Tennessean is 10 to believin'. We've got a Tennessee state shout out from C for Cats, so thank you for that as well. Tennessee will take on the winner of Washington, D.C. versus Massachusetts in the East region. Very eastern places there. Always ripe for an upset in a 5-12, although I kind of doubt it'll happen in this one. We've got Rhode Island versus West Virginia, Virginia versus New Jersey in the 4-13 matchup. On the other side of the bracket, we have number 6, Texas, taking on number 11, North Carolina. Sounds like something that might be a real NCAA tournament game. South Dakotans will be taking a bye and advancing right to the next round. Both Dakotas get a free shot to next week. Number 7, Wisconsin will take on number 10, Colorado. Sounds like that could be a good football game. Basketball, I feel like that's a low-scoring basketball game. And number 2, Oklahoma will get a bye where they will take on the winner of Wisconsin and Colorado next week. Finally, let's take a look at the West region bracket. We've got Utah getting a bye here. Vermont versus Connecticut, 2 neighboring states quite far from the West. That happens in this. We'll take on Utah next week. Washington versus Wyoming in the always interesting 5-12 matchup. Then we've got Kentucky versus Pennsylvania rounding out that half of the bracket. And on the other half now we've got California versus Mississippi. That's a lesson in contrast there. Michigan will get a bye. Somebody predicted that Michigan will be the first one to lose. Well, Michigan will not be the first one to lose because Michigan will not lose this week. They must make it to next week. Michigan will play the winner of California and Mississippi when they come back next week. Iowa versus New Mexico. Arkansas also gets a bye. Arkansas advances to the next round right away as the 2 seed in the West. It's up to you guys to vote. I'm not making these choices, you will. So there will be polls in both YouTube and Patreon, and those polls should be live right now, so you can vote there right now. Watch the end of the video, then vote there. Patreon votes will count as double, and Patreon members are also free to vote on Patreon and YouTube so that they can triple their amount. So you can vote twice if you're a Patreon. My votes can be bought. So let's talk about the schedule, how this whole thing's going to be working. It's going to be 4 or 5 episodes, I'd say. So the first round voting will conclude on March 9th, this Saturday, at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time. On the March 14th episode, I will talk about the winners and announce round 2 voting, and the video will drop at the usual time for that March 14th episode. After voting, I'll probably cut off voting on that Saturday again as well. The March 21st video will drop at the usual time and give round 2 results, and we will talk about round 3. Round 3 will have a shorter voting period. I'll make a short sometime around March 25th announcing round 3 winners, and round 4, probably just a few days after the March 21st one, I'll do a quick YouTube short to announce the winners and the round 4 who will be going on. Another short round of voting will commence, probably one day. On March 28th, I'll drop a full video talking about rounds 3 and 4 and talking about the final 4. The following week, there will also be 2 rounds of voting. So we'll have the final 4 coming after the March 28th episode, and then probably sometime around April 1st, I will declare the 2 finalists, and we will have finalist voting as well, so that the April 4th episode, the final 4 matches will be discussed and the ultimate winner will be announced. You'll be getting a little extra content, a couple of shorts in there for the sake of this, because there's a lot of moving parts. Generally, I post my Patreon videos up to 4 or 5 days earlier than the regular videos, but because of all this, the Patreon videos are going to be posted at the same time as the regular videos. Also, you can enter to win. You can win the bracket pool as well, so you can make your picks on the bracket and send your picks to controlcityfreak@gmail.com, and whoever has the best bracket or the first person with a perfect bracket wins 2 free exit requests. There is a link to the bracket in the description of this video down here, and there's also a link at controlcityfreak.com, and brackets must be turned in before March 14th, before that episode airs. After that, I will accept no more brackets. All right, let me show you what the entire bracket looks like so you can see a full thing. Tennessee in the East here, I've got them playing B. I meant to type in bye, that's a mistake. So that is our 2024 State DOT March Madness. I'm excited to do it. I hope lots of people vote. I hope you guys get to pick your winners. I hope it goes awesome. This is something totally new for this channel, so I'm excited to see how it goes. All right, thank you for watching this episode of Control City Freak. I'll see you in the voting, and as I said, voting is available on Patreon and on YouTube right now, and voting for the first round will close on Saturday at 11:59 p.m. Eastern. So thanks so much for watching, and until next time, my name is Todd, and keep on trucking.